Was there a deadline for application that was advertised on that?
Right? Do we have a deadline on that?
No.
No.
Was the position advertised?
Yes.
Yes.
In the Indy?
Times are right.
Times are okay.
On the tax certs, I have a question for David, and I could talk to him later, but because people may be watching this, I think it would be valuable. Because I don't understand it, and other people that I've spoken with don't understand, so maybe David can clarify the proper process. When there is a tax cert that needs to be paid by the village, that money has already been collected. Is it the county that pays out the rebate and then adjusts it with the village, or is it paid out directly by the village?
Yeah, it's a little quirk in the state law where if it's over $10,000 that a town has to pay, the county will pay it. And then in the reimbursement process for unpaid taxes, they will withhold that amount to which, if parcel A doesn't pay their state, county, town tax, the county reimburses the town. If the rebate for a tax cert is over $10,000, the county will pay that, and they'll deduct it from the amount that they may owe the town. Neither the village nor the school district gets the benefit of that.
So that's where the confusion comes in.
Correct.
So with a village rebate, the village has to actually cut the check.
That's correct.
And there's no adjustment with the county whatsoever.
Correct.
No involvement with the county.
No.
Good to know. On the zoning, there was a 3-month extension that you voted tonight. Originally, when the moratorium was passed, it was a 1 year. Is there a regulatory limit on the extensions of the moratorium?
No. We have to be diligently pursuing. The court won't say, 1 year and 1 day is illegal. They'll look at the circumstances. They'll see what the community has done in terms of reviewing it, preparing amendments to their zoning, and they'll determine if that's reasonable. So it's a rule of reason, but we do have Stuart Turner's office working on it. I'm sure that.
So as long as you're working on it, it could stretch out however long is necessary.
Correct.
Because this religious use is a tricky one. It's not going to.
Yeah. Well, this is the OBH, so the religious use is not doesn't deal with the moratorium. It's just the OBH zone that's the subject of the moratorium.
Right. Along with that, Stu Turner was also tasked with the zoning on Greenwich and I believe West Main. Is that progressing, or are we waiting until the hospital's out of the way to turn the attention to Greenwich?
No, we've recently got some documentation that I think that the village board received right around Thanksgiving, and that I believe the village will be looking to begin that process, which would require
documentation in terms of law or
a revised local law. That has to go to the planning department, has to go to our planning board, and then the village board needs to schedule a public hearing.
Will there be any opportunity for public input prior to the public hearing, particularly for property owners along the corridor?
No, we'll specifically exclude them. Sure. People have the right to come to meetings or write letters or do.
I was thinking of something perhaps a little more organized. Not necessarily formal, but a little more organized.
Yeah, typically have a public hearing is the only formal.
I've raised the point before. The last point was just a clarification. Again, for the public, you had indicated that there were no deadlines on the landfill that had been breached. And to my knowledge, there was one consent order that established the deadline of October of 2007.
No. There's been no consent order. There's no consent order issued by the DEC to date. I mean, we're in the process of doing that.
Well, there was a letter from the state to the village.
That's not a consent order.
Wherein the village had agreed to certain conditions. You're not going to call that a consent order?
Not with regard to the stockpile, no. It's not a consent order. Consent order, Joel, when I speak of these things, it's a term of art. A consent order is is issued by the DEC, is signed off on, any consent order requires, or to allow the mayor to sign it, requires a resolution of the board authorizing that. That, with regards to the stockpile, that did not occur.
Okay, is it correct then that the temporary storage of the material after excavation had an 18-month limit on it, which expired in October of '07?
You know, I don't know how I want to answer that, or if I want to answer that. That's my answer.
I guess it depends upon your goal.
It depends upon your what?
Goal. The goal of the question.
I'm just trying to clarify
I think the
facts of the
difficulty
communication. There was a communication in writing from the state to the village that had a date on it, and I was just trying to
I think it
clarify
comes
that.
down to understanding the consent order is a legal term. I mean, it's a DEC regulatory term. It's not just saying you said.
Right, and what may have happened in the past, you know, we can all agree or disagree on that.
I was just about to say that.
What's important is what's going to happen. That's correct. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, no more citizens' comments. We're going to go into executive session to discuss litigation.
Pending litigation, so.
Pending litigation, and we'll need a motion on that, and we will not do any business after that. So, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, and we'll see you after the holidays. Okay, can I get a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, so I explained this to the, the tech